As someone who exists in a plus-size body, fashion of all sorts has never been easy for me. Most things that are trendy aren't readily available in my size, and clothing made for plus-size people just simply isn't fashionable. Add in the layer of wanting to purchase more sustainable clothing, and it makes it even more complicated. Oftentimes, finding things that are sustainable and size inclusive seems nearly impossible. And yet, these two things remain as some of the fashion industry's largest issues. What I've considered up until now makes me ask, can't they both exist? Although not commonly represented in the industry, they most definitely can. And the Brand Girlfriend Collective provides a good example of how size inclusivity and sustainability can be at the core of a brand's values. In this video, I'll be exploring who Girlfriend Collective is, what materials they use that allow them to be size inclusive and sustainable, their factory practices, and I'll compare them to other brands. Now, before I get into who Girlfriend Collective is and what they do, I think it's important that we understand the importance of size-inclusive fashion. When I refer to size inclusivity, I'm not talking about strictly plus-size clothes, but rather clothing that comes in an expansive size range. Size-inclusive clothes and plus-size clothes are similar, but they're not the same. Plus-size clothes only make items from, let's say, a size 14 up to a size 30, and sometimes even beyond, whereas size-inclusive clothes range from something like a triple extra small to a 6XL. Plus-size clothes focus on a certain size range, and size-inclusive clothes are all-encompassing. As put by Eliza Huber for Refinery 29, collections that make size inclusivity a priority are committed to selling the same clothing in all size ranges. As opposed to collections that separate plus offerings from straight ones, size-inclusive stores will have the same styles in a size 2 and size 32. Now, with this definition in mind, we need to consider why size inclusivity is important. Per a 2016 study by the International Journal of Fashion, Design, Technology, and Education, the average size of an American woman is 16 to 18. However, most clothing brands don't sell over a size large or a size 12. Hopefully you can see the problem here. Most women wear over a size 12, but brands aren't producing these sizes. Huge disconnect. Jean-Carlo Russo from Teen Vogue considers that for many plus-size shoppers, ethical fashion seems to be an exclusive, unattainable world that rejects their body rather than embrace its curves. The barriers between fat bodies and sustainability are plentiful. And as I said before, this doesn't have to be the case. There are some brands who are prioritizing sustainability and size inclusivity. Take American athleisure brand Girlfriend Collective, for instance. Based out of Seattle, Girlfriend Collective launched in 2017 by founder Ellie Din. The company is best known for their leggings and sports bras, which are made from post-consumer recycled water bottles. With sustainability at the core of the brand, all of the materials that they use are eco-friendly. Girlfriend Collective follows a slow fashion model, which refers to a philosophy of attention that is sensitive to environmental and societal needs and the impact the production and distribution has on society, ecosystems, and Earth. This takes form in limited color runs and pre-orders. These things allow independent brands like Girlfriend Collective to eradicate overproduction and waste. Now, as I mentioned, Girlfriend Collective only uses eco-friendly materials. Most items are made from rPET, which is recycled polyester, and this polyester exclusively comes from post-consumer water bottles. For example, a bra takes 11 water bottles to make, and a pair of leggings takes 25. In addition to recycled polyester, the brand also uses Cupro, which is made from cotton waste, and EcoNail, which is recycled nylon made from fish nets. Again, most clothing is made from rPET, so I think it's important to focus on that. Thanks to the rise of the athleisure trend, which prioritizes stretchiness and comfort, Sarah Vanden and Kumar state that around 49% of the world's apparel is made from polyester. Needless to say, polyester is popular and it's going to be used whether sustainable or not. However, traditional polyester isn't great for the environment as it requires the use of oil, a fossil fuel, to be a crude material. On the other hand, most recycled polyester requires the recycling of accessories and beverage bottles to create their textiles. Companies may also take interest in recycled polyester because it encourages a closed-loop assembly. Once it's created, it can be reconfigured into many different items, so profit increases, and it also has a smaller ecological footprint than virgin polyester. In order to create recycled polyester, municipal waste centers are often the primary source for collecting the raw materials needed, and this is true for Girlfriend Collective. The company relies on recycling facilities in Taiwan to provide them with water bottles, which are then turned into textile. Now, you might consider why Taiwan and not the US? Well, per Girlfriend Collective, Taiwan is considered a global leader in recycling as 55% of their waste is sorted and saved. The US is not the same, unfortunately, but cost is also a factor. To make recycled polyester, bottles are sorted, washed, and then pounded into small chips. They are then melted and go through a spinner to create yarn. This yarn then goes through the 24-hour process of being turned into fabric. During this process, the texture is enhanced. Last, it is colored with eco-friendly dyes from Bluesign and Oecotex. Recycled polyester is sustainable, which is great, but like with anything, it's not perfect, and I'm going to get into why. One thing that we need to consider is that while recycled materials and fabrics are more sustainable in the harvesting of raw materials, the dyes, water, and chemicals used have major environmental impacts during the coloration process. If these dyes and water treatment aren't equally as eco-friendly, are these brands really making a difference? Dyeing also requires high amounts of energy, which increases greenhouse gases, unless of course they're using renewable energy. Additionally, because polyester is plastic, it will never break down and can release microplastics into water streams when washed. However, Girlfriend Collective has considered methods to combat these issues, and I'll get into that shortly. But according to a study, recycled polyester overall is making a difference, especially when compared to its virgin polyester counterpart. Recycled polyester offers the net reduction of CO2 emissions, carbon monoxide, particulate matters, and heavy metals. This is due to the reduction of landfill waste. It is important to remember that while a solution, recycled polyester is not a perfect answer. While rPET may not be the most sustainable option, some alternatives that Girlfriend Collective and other similar brands could potentially use because they are more sustainable are Ryoka, which is recycled elastane, which is very much needed in athletic wear for stretchiness. Additionally, there is Spinova, which is a cotton alternative. While we're on the topic of true sustainability, I think it's fair that we examine Girlfriend Collective a little closer since they claim to be highly sustainable. When it comes to their factory practices, the brand states that their facilities in Taiwan are government monitored to ensure that they are only using post-consumer materials. This holds them accountable. Their clothing factories are located in Hanoi, Vietnam, and they aim to pay their workers a living wage. These practices are monitored by Social Accountability International, an NGO focused on human rights practices. As noted, the brand uses eco-friendly dyes, but the dye mud, which is leftover waste from the dyeing process, is then recycled and turned into pavement, which is then used in the community. The dye water is also treated until it is deemed safe and clean, and from there it is released back into its water source. The microplastics that I mentioned earlier are dealt with through the use of a wash bag or filter that can be placed in a washing machine. This is a post-consumer step. Additionally, the brand has a program called Re-Girlfriend that encourages patrons to send in their old items in exchange for store credit. These old items are then used to make new garments. It's not frequently promoted, but hopefully that will change in the future. With the basis of who Girlfriend Collective is and what they use to manufacture their items, it's important to consider how they stack up against their competitors. A lot of companies are doing athleisure, and not everyone does it the same. For this, I'll consider a few things: sizing, sustainability, accessibility of where to buy, and accessibility based on price range. We already know why sizing and sustainability are crucial, but accessibility as it relates to pricing and where to buy an item are just as important. Shopping for most people, but especially for plus-size people, is not as simple as buying something and exchanging it if it doesn't fit. Most stores don't carry extended sizes, so there's often a lot of guesswork that goes into finding one size, especially because certain measurements are needed to be taken into account. Being able to walk into a store easily and try something on is important to the buying experience. Additionally, everyone should be able to access quality, sustainable clothing. How much money one has to spend on a garment shouldn't matter or impact what they can buy. Here's a graph that I've made to examine where Girlfriend Collective stacks up against their competitors. For this analysis, I've selected 2 popular athleisure brands, one new and one established in Athleta and Lululemon. The data for the graph is based off of each brand's Good For You rating, as well as research done by myself for each brand. As you can see, Girlfriend Collective wins the sizing and sustainability categories. Per Good On You, they receive a score of 4.5 for sustainability. They also have an extremely large size range from a double extra small to 6XL in all items in all colors. Lululemon takes the cake for location accessibility, as they have many stores globally, whereas Girlfriend Collective is at the bottom due to the fact that they prioritize US customers on their site. Also, from what I've noticed, Girlfriend Collective is primarily accessible in Canada through third-party retailers like boutiques and higher-end department stores. This leads me to the consideration of price. Athleta is the highest rated in this category, as their items are the lowest in cost. But, based on what we know about sustainability, this may not be the best thing. Girlfriend Collective, on the other hand, falls into the category of affordable luxury with high-quality garments at a mid-level price. The addition of the items being ethically made is also a bonus. Even despite their flaws, companies like Girlfriend Collective are doing great things looking out for the environment and for those who are often excluded from the fashion industry. Being sustainable and size inclusive shouldn't be a novelty. It should be the norm. And yet we still live in a society that seldom combines the two. Larger bodies deserve sustainable clothing just as much as the next. And with that I ask, why are we conditioned to believe that these two things can't exist at once? Thanks for watching.